Over the last several days, Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy has repeatedly made some of the most outrageous claims about January 6th that I think I've ever heard. It all started this past Friday when Ramaswamy did his little interview with Tucker Carlson in Iowa, where he actually told Tucker Carlson that the reason January 6th, the Capitol Riot happened in the first place was because of censorship. Like that's what January 6th was all about. It wasn't because Trump's election lies. It wasn't because he told the crowd at the Stop the Steal rally to fight like hell. No. It was censorship, he says. On Monday of this week, he spoke with Charlie Kirk, where he not only doubled down on that, but he expanded upon it and said not only was it the censorship, but it was the so-called COVID lockdowns that caused the Capitol riot. That's what people were really mad about that day. Like, oh man, we're censored and we had to stay home for a little bit so we didn't kill each other with a deadly virus. So let's storm the Capitol. But it was the comments that happened in between Friday and Monday that I think everybody needs to focus on a little more. Because during the Turning Point Action Conference in Florida on Saturday, Vivek Ramaswamy, who is currently in third place in the Republican presidential primary, said this about January 6th. And what I said on stage at the conference is you tell people they cannot scream, that is when they tear things down. And my concern, Charlie, is unless we reconcile ourselves with what the truth of the matter was that led to January 6th, that's really just going to be a friendly preview of what's to come in this country. It's a preview of what's to come in this country, Mr. Ramaswamy says that he said at the Turning Point Action Conference. January 6th was just but a preview, just a little appetizer, and the main course is yet to come. Now, I don't know about you, but the way I interpret that is that that's a threat. That 100% to me sounds like a threat, not just against the government of the United States, but of the threat against the United States itself. Saying that, that riot, that was a preview of what's to come. I don't know, to me, kind of sounds like the type of thing that maybe this dude needs to get the Secret Service knocking on his door for. Maybe the FBI. Because I don't know how you can interpret that any other way than reading it as a very clear threat by saying that Capitol riot was but a preview of what's to come. Not a preview of what could happen later, but a preview of what's to come. He is making it, by the words he used, sound like inevitably something worse is coming. He didn't stop there either. In his interview with Charlie Kirk, he said, you were told that all of the grievances and vengeance that you wanted to get up on the table, you could do that through an election, through the democratic process. You couldn't even send that article on your social media accounts to individual people without being silenced. And of course, he's talking about the Hunter Biden laptop story, so I guess Mr. Ramaswamy thinks millions of people were just angry that they couldn't see Hunter Biden's junk, which is why that story partially was actually pulled, even though it was only pulled for a couple days before it was then allowed to be spread. He goes on, I think January 6th was the culmination of what you see when our culture censors people from speaking. First of all, nobody was censored from speaking. Second of all, the government didn't censor anybody from speaking. It was Donald Trump's government that was in power at the time that all of this happened that was actively petitioning Twitter to censor people because they were critical of Donald Trump. That was the only government attempt at censorship, so let's make sure we're crystal clear on that, Mr. Ramaswamy. We had lockdowns in this country. Told you had to hide in your basement, stay locked down, while Black Lives Matter and Antifa roamed the cities of this country freely, burning many of them to the ground. Name one, you SOB. Name one city that burned to the ground. You said many, so name one. Show me pictures of entire cities burned to the ground. Did arsonists set fires? Yeah. Did a couple buildings get burned? Yeah. Did even an entire block ever get burned down? Nope, that's not a thing that happened, you friggin' liar. And of course, he continued. And we're going to be sanctimoniously indicting one individual without actually taking a long, hard look in the mirror. I think every American has to look, especially much of the left in this country that denounces January 6th and the supposed threats to our democracy. Everyone in this country has to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask ourselves what role each of us played in getting to that day. All right. You wanted it, you got it. I'll take a good hard look in the mirror right now. What did I do that led us to January 6th? Well, both here and over at Ring of Fire, I was doing videos warning about the dangers, the threats being posted online by Trump supporters saying they were going to do something on January 6th. I was trying to alert people to the dangers. I was going out every day in video, again, both here and over at Ring of Fire, debunking Donald Trump's election lies that led to that day. That's what I was doing. What were you doing, Mr. Ramaswamy? What were you doing? Here's the thing. Ramaswamy understands how bad January 6th is, how bad it was, and how bad it's going to be for the 2024 election, which of course is why he's trying to recast the entire history. It wasn't about a stolen election. It was about Black Lives Matter not being on lockdown. If you look at the defenses used by the Capitol rioters that, of course, have gone to jail, they have gone into court and told judges and juries that, yeah, I did it because Donald Trump told us to do it because he said the election was stolen. None of them have mentioned lockdowns. None of them are saying that it was the censorship of the Hunter Biden story. Not one of them has said that, actually, in their legal defenses. Not one. Mr. Ramaswamy is, in fact, lying because he's a traditional Republican, and that's all they know how to do. Hey, everyone. This is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.